Hello everyone. I want to welcome you all to another BobTalks. I am Bob Mitchell, the Superintendent of Schools in the Cumberland, Rhode Island school system. And I want to introduce one of the deans of the high school, Scott Carpenter. And we're going to talk about a really important topic for this particular Bob Talk on vaping, because we're seeing a significant increase in the amount of vaping that's taking place in the high school. And I also think it's important to mention that not only is it an issue in the high school, but it's our understanding that it's also taking place in the middle schools as well. So the reason that I thought it was important to invite Scott is because both he and Chris Skirka, the other dean at the high school, are dealing with this issue on a daily basis. There's been a significant increase, and we want to provide some information to parents about what's happening at the high school. So Scott, welcome.
Thank you.
And
thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, and thank you for helping us with this important topic. So can you, first of all, can you just give us like an overview of what vaping is?
Well, there's basically two types of vapes. There's the first models that came out was more like a vape box, and it's about the size of a pack of cigarettes would be the size of the vape box. You see a very large cloud from the vape box. You use a gel in the vape box, and they put one of these gels inside to create that vape. Inside those gels, you can have anything from nicotine, obviously, is in all of those, so it's kind of like a 2017 cigarette. But you can also buy gels today that have alcohol added into them or THC in them as well. And then the newer models that come along is what everybody's talking about now, is what's called a Juul. It's a much smaller device. It has a small cartridge in it. Those cartridges, again, you can purchase with either nicotine in them and also THC in them. Because of the fact that it's become so small and mobile, it has become a much bigger issue within the building. In the years past, we would get reports of people possibly vaping in the back parking lot, where we'd see clouds coming out of the cars. Now, because they're such a small device, kids can bring them right into the school and be utilizing them on the bus, inside classrooms, etc.
What kinds of vaping are you seeing?
For the most part, the vaping that we see is nicotine. So the kids are convinced that there's really nothing wrong with vaping. They don't understand that nicotine is the same nicotine in a cigarette. It's still addicting. It says it on the packaging, but for the most part, they've done a really good job, and I know it sounds crazy, but the companies, whether that's Phoenix or that's Juul or Blue, have done a great job of marketing towards kids. So you can buy flavors like bubblegum flavor, you can buy cherry, strawberry, etc., which is why a lot of times you won't be able to smell anything, because it almost smells like somebody sprayed an air freshener. So nobody really suspects anything because it doesn't smell like a typical cigarette or a marijuana cigarette would smell.
I think there are some misconceptions. And I think one of the big misconceptions is that vaping is not harmful to an individual's health. And certainly we know that that's not true because of the things that you just talked about.
The cartridges, as you can see, the refill cartridges are very small. Each one of these cartridges is the equivalent to a pack of cigarettes, which kids don't really understand that. And then
that's important.
Yes.
One of those little devices is equivalent to
a pack of cigarettes.
A pack of cigarettes.
You know, one of the things that we've done is kind of reached out and had conversation with some of our nurses, because they're the ones that do the health programs in the elementary school. Haven't talked to kids. If you say to a student, would you smoke a cigarette? Every student that you have that conversation with looks at you like you're crazy.
Right.
No, I'd never do that. But that same student is vaping. So trying to re-approach what we're doing from an educational standpoint to get kids to understand the risk of vaping. You know, it has been tied to popcorn lung. There's a lot of other things that they're researching because it's so new. Basically, you're choosing to be a guinea pig to find out what this could potentially cause for a disease. You don't know right now.
Now, you have some examples of vaping devices.
Correct.
And some of the liquids that you have actually confiscated from students. Can you just share some of that with us?
Yeah, so one of the things that happens is we had to educate our staff because students would have this device connected to their computer and be telling staff that it was an external drive, it was a Wi-Fi antenna, booster, etc. Whereas in reality, it is just a Joule charging on the side of a Chromebook. And then this is, similar thing, but this one's called a Phoenix. It's got a little bit different shape to it. They've come out with some other ones that really look like external drives that, again, the where you take the product in is in the corner right here. None of these actually turn on. They actually are activated by suction. So when you draw in on them, it actually produces the vapor.
You sort of demonstrated how easy it is for students to use these devices in a class. Can you just
Correct.
sort of demonstrate
Absolutely.
that very
So
quickly?
as you can see, the product is very small, so I can hold that in my hand. It could be in my pocket. I can pull that out of my pocket. I'm in class. I could be in class. I pull it out. I take a small hit of it. I act like I'm coughing in my arm, and it's gone. There is no true smoke, let's say, per se, like a cigarette, where the staff member would see the smoke that would linger in the ear. It's not there. It's because it is a true vapor. There's very little smoke that comes from it. If I hold it in long enough, there is nothing that comes out because my body actually basically absorbs it.
Is absorbing it. So, because I think one of the misconceptions is related to what you mentioned when we first started talking about this today, and that is that they think there's just going to be some cloud of vape that that is seen, but that is not necessarily
Correct. With the smaller devices like the Joules, no, there is not a big cloud.
Now, can you talk a little bit about how serious this problem is? And I know that it is a growing concern. Can you just talk a little bit about what you're seeing?
So what happened is actually the state has recognized this as being a major concern, and back in, I want to say it was May, rewrote the laws because the laws were all around tobacco and it wasn't around these type of devices. So there's a new law in effect that you cannot have any of these products even on school grounds, never mind be utilizing those products. So we've tried to emphasize that. The students, we've made that announcement multiple times. We have it in our daily bulletin. I believe it's been in there since just before Christmas break. It goes out to parents as a constant reminder that this can't happen. We've encouraged staff to kind of check bathrooms every once in a while because that seems to be the area that kids are going to do it the most. But we have found, on an average week, probably 4 or 5 students a week we're finding that are doing this product. And I can tell you from having conversations with people in other districts, from Massachusetts to South County, this is a problem statewide, not just our state, nationwide.
Yes.
Yeah. It is everywhere. Kids are really convinced that there's nothing wrong with it. It's not a big deal. And again, the companies have done a very nice job of marketing this product to kids. And it is caught on. It is a huge percentage of our student body are utilizing these products.
Now, the reason that we're taking the time to share this information with parents is because we want them to be aware that this is a growing concern, and we want them to know how students are actually doing the vaping. And one of the things that you've talked about, and I know that you have been a part of this in the past, is this demonstration where you talk about things hidden in plain sight.
Absolutely. So we have an event coming up on the 16th. We're kind of dubbing it a town hall, where it's going to be an open dialogue, hopefully between parents, myself, other staff members, and we have somebody coming in from our substance abuse counselor who's going to be there. And during that, it's a great opportunity for parents to see how easily it is today to hide these things within your room, within devices that you would never know it was there. Again, the average parent would see that plugged into their student's Chromebook and think nothing of it. Exactly. You would see this device and they could easily tell you it's an external hard drive. So just trying to give the parents that education of what to look for and what to see so that they can help curb this.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for parents to know that the reason that we're taking the time to do this is because there's no question that there are some students who are in fact vaping and their parents have no idea.
Correct.
And they're good kids, but again, they may have this misconception that what they're doing is not harmful. That date again is January 16th in the high school.
In the high school cafeteria.
In the cafeteria at 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock.
Scott, thank you.
Thank
Really
you very
helpful.
much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.